Welcome to the Talk and Chatter experience, powered by Gasoline Alley Harley Davidson. Our guest for today's show is Ferg from Gasoline Alley Harley Davidson. Ferg and I decided to sit down and have a bit of a chat about what we've titled Speedweek, starting off with a ride to Gary McCoy's cafe on the Harley Davidson Pan America, followed by Dust Hustle on the Harleys with Jarred Brook and Mcferran on the new Pan Ams. And then Mick Day, Ferg and myself went out and did 2 track days, one at Morgan Park and Queensland Raceway on the new Pan Americas. So it's a bit of a special edition. Hope you enjoy it, and it's a bit of a wrap up for what we think is a fantastic motorcycle. If you enjoyed today's show, hit subscribe on our YouTube channel, give us a review on iTunes and all those other sorts of places, and we'll catch you around. Thank you. All right, mate. Well, here we are.
Good afternoon, Mick. This is a bit fucking weird, isn't it?
It is, mate. It is.
Excuse my language.
But here we are. We're midweek, and we've just basically finished our. I guess we've titled it Speedweek ourselves. It's not some fancy title that was made for us, but we did an adventure ride to McCoy's, followed by Dust Hustle, and then a couple of track days at Morgan Park and Queensland Raceway for the night time. And I thought we'd just have basically like a bit of a sit down and recap and spend a fair bit of time, obviously, on the new Pan Americas, have a bit of a talk about that and what we've been seeing with them globally and what our opinions are of what we've experienced. And, how are you, mate?
Mate, I'm on a little bit of a after Speedweek downer, to be honest. What a week and a bit it was that we had, as you say, up to G-Max adventure riding.
Yep.
On the Pan Americas, and then as you mentioned, Dust Hustle, which is one of my all-time favourite days of the year, which was bloody sensational. And then the 2 track days. So I'm on a little bit of a after Speedweek downer. I need to get out and go for another ride again, Mick.
I can totally understand it because it was. We were so lucky with, just to get them all in such a succession. I don't think, the track days certainly weren't planned to be after Dust Hustle. It just came up.
Yep.
But to get it all in a row, it was pretty damn awesome.
And to experience, as you say, we want to spend a bit of time obviously chatting about the Pan America and all things, that we've enjoyed about it, and to experience that under all these different conditions and just, to do it with yourself. The track days to do with M63, mate. It's what do you want to do when you grow up? I want to ride motorbikes around the track, thank you very much, and have a giggle with my mates. So fantastic, and getting a bit of attention to the bike, which is what it's all about at the end of the day, but also for us to test the bike out and see what it is and isn't capable of. And so far, I don't think we've found much that it's not capable of, to be honest. Yeah,
there hasn't been too much, and myself is about 3,000 Ks. I know you're about 3,000 in as well.
Yep.
I've probably taken it so far and probably the more enduro stuff.
Yep.
Not much is out of shape with it, eh?
No, look, it's very capable. It's been a long time since I've ridden adventure tourer bikes. I mean, I did a lot of mileage on BMs with nearly 11 years working with BMs, so I did a lot of miles on the different GSs over the journey. And it's good to be back on an adventure touring bike. Good to be, to go for a ride. That ride that we did up to McCoy's Cafe before Dust Hustle, where you just ride along and you go, what's down this road? Oh, this road turns to dirt. How good's that? And that's not. We weren't doing full.
Nah.
Single track or any of that sort of stuff. There was the 3 of us there, and I had the Michelin Anarchies on the bike. You guys didn't. And the winner is me. Obviously, I get to prep my bike and don't worry about you guys. But it's just that brings out that fun, doesn't it? Like, it's just a little bit of just what's down this road. Well, who cares?
It's that freedom and exploration.
Yeah.
And out that area, McCoy's area through Esk up to Kooyar, it's pretty much endless too.
Yeah.
Which is something, I guess, for other people that may even be listening to this to explore those sort of. Because you didn't. What did we see? 6 bikes?
Yeah, just within a couple of 100 k's of Brisbane.
Yep.
And just for a good day ride.
Yep.
and the bike in itself. It's good fun, isn't it? Let's be honest. I mean, it does skids, and that's that's important, isn't it?
So
describe your needs out of a motorbike, Ferg. Oh, it must do skids.
And it, no promoting burnouts on the street because we don't do burnouts on the street. However, the bike, and this isn't an ad for Pan America either. Like you're a dealer for Harley Davidson, but just general as motorcyclists sitting there chatting. As a street bike, dual, pretty damn impressive, eh?
How good is that bike on adventure touring tyres? So Michelin Anarchies.
Yep.
Tight bitumen. Sport mode.
Yep.
So traction control is still active. And allegedly, how good is it? And does it leave little black lines and does smoke come off that back tyre?
Well, there's a section called the TT circuit I've allegedly heard, right? And good section of road, and same deal, nothing out of hand like riding. And I was obviously behind with a GoPro on that didn't work.
Yeah, so you're gonna claim that you plan to be behind, though, aren't you? Not that I was in front for any other reason. This was just you. You plan to be behind.
I can't keep up, mate.
And here it starts. What are we, one minute into the chat and the full sledging starts?
Because nothing worse than hearing a Mick saying, "Have you been beaten by someone?" If you're listening, Mick. But no joke. Just following up around there, and just smoothness too. I think that's the thing. Controllable riding. I sat in the tail of that bike for pretty much the day. And it's just
good fun.
Yeah, just beautiful.
Good fun. At the end of the day, it's fun. And that's, that's what our week was, wasn't it? I mean, we're sort of, the Mick and Ferg Speedweek and Jarred and Emma on the
Dust Hustle ones.
On the Pan Ams out at Dust Hustle as well. Yep. I mean,
what's the tell me this because I should have looked at it before. What's the factory tyre? It's a Screaming Eagle. Is it a Michelin?
I don't know off the top of my head.
No, me either. I should have probably looked at that. Yeah. But for myself,
I'm not a spec guy. I mean, my standard line. If someone says how much is that bike weigh, I go, "What are you going to do? Bench press the bloody thing, mate? Who cares how much it weighs? Get on and ride it. Get out from behind the keyboard. And ride the bike." Yeah.
Why did I even get into
You can edit that bit out, can't you?
For me, I same deal. I got to ride the Anarchy, I got to ride the factory tyre, and I got to ride the Bridgestone for the track day. So awesome perspective to be able to ride a few different things as well. So
those Bridgestone touring 32s?
I think it's T32. I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
What a tyre.
Didn't expect that.
What a tyre. So, I mean, we're sort of jumping around all over the place, but we're likely to do that, aren't we?
That's okay.
So we went. We then knew that we were going to be doing the track day out at Warwick, which is personally my favourite track to ride a Harley around. I've ridden the Dyna at Lakeside, Softails at Lakeside, the Dyna and the Road King at Phillip Island.
Yep.
Which I thought was going to be easier than Lakeside. It was actually harder because you're trying to hang on to these things at a higher speed and a higher average lap speed and all that sort of business. And then, of course, those bikes also at Warwick. And so Warwick is personally my favourite bike on the Harley. It's just an easier track, not the big, long 180-degree corners of Lakeside.
Just a nice flow, isn't it?
And so when we decided that we were going to take the Pan Ams out there, because that's what you do, got talking to different people about what tyres. And, of course, tyres are a bit hard to get at the moment and all that sort of business, the old COVID business. And a few people suggested some Bridgestone type tyres that they use on the Roaring Sporties and this and the other. And we spoke to the Bridgestone guys and we couldn't get them. And they said, "Look, we've got this new one.
Yep.
It's a touring tyre, but it's a sports touring tyre." We went for that. And it arrived and I thought, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It exceeded my expectations on the track. To see M63, like the first session we went out at Warwick, I know I puckered a little bit. I 100% know you puckered more than I did, which is to be expected because it's not your motorbike, right?
No.
They were brand new tyres, brand new, had literally done 2 kilometres, went around the block, right? So they're all covered in the release agent still and blah, blah, blah. To see M63... Crazy Mick Day, literally dragging his knee on a wet track on a bike that he had ridden before, but brand new tyres was one of my, to be honest, one of my all-time favourite memories from doing a track day. I'm just going, we just had this chat about let's stick together, there's GoPros, you know, new tyres, new bikes, we don't want to throw them down the road, we're not here to ruin everyone's day, we're here to get some video footage and have a few laughs. And he's just gone, I'll see you boys. And it was bloody sensational. So, you know, that new tyre, highly recommend it.
Can we just go back a little bit about the tyre? In my lifetime, and you've been through the same paths as well, I've never been asked by someone, hey, Mick, I'm going to provide you with a motorcycle to ride. What tyres would you like on it? I'm like, are you serious? You're providing me with like a 2000...
What was your list? You did come back with a top 10 list. Can I have this, and this is the tyre pressures I prefer to run, and what tyre warmers do you have, because I only use a certain brand of tyre warmer, was what your list said.
I did come back with a few. And then you're like, hey, this is what you've got.
Because, of course, it was going to add to it as well. And I'm a Dunlop fan, right? I have no reason to be not a fan of any other tyres. It's just that I've always ridden on Dunlop road tyres and Dunlop sports tyres, right? But to be honest, I also run with the, you know, what tyres you like, and my standard response is inflated black ones, please. You know?
Oh, jeez.
Because, you know, I couldn't ride out of sight in the dark night, so it doesn't really matter what tyres they are, right?
Yeah.
So it was going to add to it as well, because you'd sent through, and I think your response was, I'll run any tyre that Valentino Rossi would ride on.
Yeah.
And so I rang him and said...
Because we're both athletes.
That's right. To Valentino, what a tyre would you like on the Pan America? But no, seriously, we would have added to it to have different tyres on it as well, but not possible, and no dramas. But all three of us, not a bad word to say about those tyres. I mean, you're talking... 250 kg bike, 150 horsepower.
3 athletes.
3 guys that, let's be honest, if one of us is sitting less than 115 kgs, I think they're lying.
I'm carrying a bit of water around at the moment.
So we're all lumps.
Yep. So you're talking a bit over 350 kilo combined weight on that tyre.
Yeah. And what, session 1, wet.
Yep.
Take it easy, smile at the camera, how good. So the colourful Stig, who wasn't able to join us at this event due to crazy Victorian COVID lockdown laws and everything like that.
Are we going to get into that?
No, don't start me. But the colourful Stig, who wasn't able to join us, can find a camera when he's riding around a racetrack, right?
Yeah, right.
And there's one other gentleman that I've noticed can find a camera when riding around a racetrack. Brian Farrow, handy at finding the camera when riding around a racetrack. I have noticed that. There's a couple of sneaky photos of him waving at cameras at Warwick as well. But how good is Crazy Mick Day M63 at finding the camera and noticing I noticed on the GoPro, he's flipping the bird at the GoPro, he's waving, he's riding around. He knows where Laurie, the photographer, was, waving at her, you know. I guess when you're riding as well as what he does and you've got that much time on your hands, to be honest, it's probably an easy thing to do. Myself, I would not have the slightest idea where the cameras are. I generally try to avoid cameras through my life for obvious reasons, but... I wouldn't know where they were around the racetrack. It's look, fun times, huh?
For sure. And we'll get more into the track days, but let's keep it back to Dust Hustle.
Yes.
So we rocked up at Dust Hustle Friday, set everything up.
Yep.
Looked at the track. First time we've actually been out there for 2 years.
Yep.
Fantastic to see, obviously. Hewan, Leo and Steve out there, and the team of people that got behind them setting everything up. And we basically hung a bit of crap on each other Friday afternoon and said who's going to be faster for tomorrow. And I thought I was going to be, but I wasn't. And then we set up Saturday and off we go. So you're on your Sportster?
Your first
time?
I rode it once at one of the V-Twin Hooligan events, I think.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
So the sports is interesting. Love the bike, especially after this dust hustle. Right, I enjoyed building the bike, talking to the different guys that we spoke to when building it, and obviously, the paint job and everything on that bike. I just, I like that bike. Right, it'll be one bike I don't keep motorcycles, but that'll be one that I will keep. Wow. Right. And so you're right. We go out there and we do the usual, pre-ride banter. Some of us do the usual pre-ride nervous wee. Mick, how many pre-ride nervous wees can you do?
6,500.
Okay,
at least.
Yeah, I think you had that covered. And then, because I'd only ridden at that track before, I'd ridden my Dyna.
Yep.
And I rode that at 2 events. And street bobs, Softail street bobs I'd ridden. And of course, and it's not until you actually ride something that's perhaps a little bit more set up for it that you might realise how ridiculous it was trying to ride those bikes around there. So riding the Sportster for the first time, for a few times, was a lot of fun. Very enjoyable. Now, I'm clearly never going to be the fastest guy and this, that and the other, but if, at the end of the day, we can have a beer and have a laugh and the bikes come back shiny side up.
Yep.
I got roosted by old mate, and I can't remember his name, a couple of times, and you can see it in some of the GoPro footage, actually, the guy on the ex-Mick Kirkness Honda ST1100.
Oh, yeah.
And that, he was all painted, the bike and his overalls pink.
Awesome.
And I followed him for a couple of laps. I'm going to claim just to get the video footage, but let's be honest, I couldn't get past him because he was pushing that thing like an absolute weapon.
Yep.
And the roost pushed the GoPro back, so the GoPro was sort of looking up at the sky at one stage. And so, what a great event. What a lot of fun. Good to be on the track with lots of talented people as well and see these guys riding. Good to be on the track with Factory Mick on the XG 750. Good to see that circulating. And now that John got the rear brake pedal sorted almost to your liking, I believe you've booked it in for a few more adjustments.
Just a couple, mate. I like to have my things in the right positions. But you guys don't seem to like brakes. So.
Well, brakes impede your progress. It's like on the street, I don't use my indicators either because I don't think it's anyone's business where I'm going. Okay. So it's the same sort of
how
thing.
How is a bike? It's one of those things I know. But yeah.
But so look, and as I say, also good to see Emma and Jarred pushing those Pan Americas, and Emma has a bike from Harley Australia and put a great photo up a few weeks before Dust Hustler herself jumping that bike, which was spectacular.
Yeah.
And then you organised with Jarred for him to ride our. It's actually my Pan America. And I was pleasantly surprised when he agreed to do it because let's be honest, what's he normally ride? A 450 or a 125?
450 and 125. Yeah, yep.
Here, Jarred, ride this 250 kilogram Harley Davidson that you've never actually sat on before around Dust Hustle. And we offered him the 3 bikes, yeah?
Yep.
He goes, no, you guys ride your bikes, I'll ride the Pan America. And just sensational. And some of the video footage that you got on the GoPro, which will be up on the YouTube and everything like that on the Gasoline YouTube, it shows you, like, he made it look effortless and he made it look like it was just on rails, but you can see from that one on the front wheel in particular, the work that's going into it. But so how capable he is, but also the bike. I mean, and we sort of spoke to him, said, you're right, and he just, oh, mate, it's great. It's fantastic. And you're just watching this young champion
master
dirt tracker
yeah.
riding this bike around that, it's not designed for flat track work or dirt track or whatever you would like to call it. But both he and Emma just made it look effortless, didn't they, on a day?
They did, didn't they? And on the wet track, to see Jarred I don't think Emma got the session straight after. I know Jarred went straight out after the water truck, and I know both of us have spoken to some people that had done the racing out there and said after the water truck, carnage. Just be careful. Just see the footage of him after the water truck, and it's just dab, fold, and he's just on the throttle. And just seamless.
I think that's cool. The bit too, as you say, on the throttle, and on that video you can hear it, right? You can hear him going down the gear, yeah?
Yep.
And then you can hear the engine. And that was one of the things, just to mix it up a little bit, that's one of the things I enjoyed about the Pan America at Warwick as well. Like when we're coming down the straight, the induction noise.
Yep.
So you're clicking, third red line, fourth red line, into fifth. And the induction noise, I just, wow. And then in that video of Jarred at Dust Hustle, you can hear that engine working, and you can see it. And it's really, it's good video, and it's good, hats off to the bike, but even more hats off to him. I mean, amazing effort to just jump on that bike that he'd not even sat on before and just ride it around there. And massive thanks to him again for coming out and doing it. Even more massive thanks for not putting it into the wall. But it didn't even look like it at any point in time. You know what I mean?
It was under control the whole.
Oh, just crazy good.
And and we both said it afterwards as well. As a person to deal with, you couldn't want for it. The guy genuinely is a master of his craft.
Yep.
Just wouldn't, family coming up to, thanks for giving the bike and stuff. Like, awesome person to deal with.
The whole, as you say, the whole package. Sort of like the riding the bike. And as you say, thanking us for the opportunity and packing up with us. Mate, don't worry about packing up, man. You've done us a favour. You come out here and you've ridden this bike around, and and it's one of those things that we talk about a bit, motorcycle tragic.
Yeah, loves it.
And you just racing tragic, motorcycle tragic, and how good it is to hang around with. It's like Emma as well, isn't it? Like we spoke before about that V-Twins hooligan event where I'd raced that Sportster once, or rode that Sportster. Race is not a word that should be used with Ferg, really, is it? 4 letters and a half. But the same thing, she was the first one, motorcycle tragic, right? She was the first one out there when they called the event off and said, we're done. And then they said, no, you can go out there and have a mess around if you want.
Yeah.
She was the first one out there before any of the others to ride that XG 750 around, motorcycle tragic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good to that whole Dust Hustle event from a little old man from Melbourne's perspective, right? But I mean, we as a business got behind that event when we first moved up here, sponsor it and everything like that. And the guys are spectacular to deal with, right? The effort that they put in, but just the passion, I mean. And then everybody that's there carries that same,
for sure,
passion through. And it doesn't matter whether they're riding the postie bikes, whether they're riding bright pink ST1100s, whether they're riding, that R18 that Chris and the two Chris's were riding around, and it doesn't matter who you are, you're riding at that event. You're just riding a motorbike at that event, aren't you? And having a laugh, and everyone's socialising and, introducing themselves and just having a laugh. Yeah.
I had a little thing where I thought that I was going to overtake Chris Vermillion.
Hang on.
He'd lap me,
testing,
right?
1 2 1 2. Can you say that again, please? Come on, say it again.
The real story.
Come on.
The real story comes though. So I think he must have lapped me or whatever. So he's come up. He wasn't on the R18. He was on the other.
Scrambler? No, it's not. What is it? R9T.
R9T, I think.
Yes, R9T. Yeah.
And he come up the inside of me, and I'm like, oh, that's Chris. That's pretty cool. And he's roosted the shit out of me. And I'm like, I'm gonna have a go here. So I had to go down the straight, not around the corner. Had to go, and I'm like, started to pull up alongside him. What it was the end of the session. He'd obviously seen it was time for us to go in. I hadn't, because I was trying to concentrate.
Mate, you didn't need to tell anybody that. You probably had GoPro footage of that as well. You could have put that footage up without telling anybody, and no one would have known.
You know me, mate. I've got zero ego.
Not what I witnessed, especially on Friday night out at QR. I think there might have been a little bit of ego involved out there.
Well, that's just being a ginger. There was a little bit of ginger mist that happened in there, and Yeah. We'll get to that.
Fun and games. Fun and games. But look, I mean,
Awesome days.
that event, I mean, it is one of my all-time favourite days of the year.
Yep.
And it reminds me, I think I've said to you before, it reminds me a little bit the attitude and the atmosphere and everything of way back when at Phillip Island at World Supers and MotoGP before the Fun Police kicked in. And it was just,
Yep.
you used to wander around that main street of Cows, the Isle of Wight and all that sort of stuff, and just bumping into people left, right and centre and having a laugh before the Fun Police kicked in. And it reminds me of that, you know, a bit old school sort of just
genuine.
Genuine.
Yeah.
And just, you know, just tragics, just having a laugh, you know.
Definitely a good day. And everything just seemed to go seamless, you know, and they needed it because poor guys have it was tough the year before and obviously everything like that. So thanks for letting me ride the bike because I know there was another conversation I'd had with you was the last time I rode it. This is my first dust hustle there.
Yeah.
So the last time I rode there was about 2003 and I'd put my 250 through. It wasn't a timber wall, it was a tire wall right, at the end of the straight. And I was telling you like this like only a couple of days after my entry had gone in. So I thought I better wait till that's in. And I said, Ferg, like last time I rode here, I put my bike through the wall there. So
well,
thanks for letting
we
me
pretty
ride
much have the standard rules. As you know, we pretty much have the standard rules of, yeah, if you crash it, you own it. So you might.
Oh, really?
I did not explain that earlier. Rob Kay generally has those conversations with the riders.
Oh, I must have missed that riders briefing.
Yeah. No, he has it afterwards, actually. I didn't Ferg explain.
Yeah, okay.
No, but you are becoming more and more known as Factory Mick, and it's a title that you're trying to remove yourself from. However, that list of my top 10 preferences of tyres would that you sent through to me would back up that title, I think. And mate, it's a title that I think you carry well. I mean, and let's be honest, you didn't want to ride that 750. You wanted to ride the Sportster. I mean, the previous dust hustle. You know, when I didn't ride it for one reason or another. And someone said, "Is that your Sportster that's out there?"
Because you didn't know I was going to ride it.
No, I had no idea. And and I see the bike doing the rounds, and I see this angry ginge just stretching the throttle cables, and you come in and you go, "Yeah, no, I had to ride your bike, mate. The brake pedal on the XG 750 didn't meet my requirements. You know, you can either attempt to fix that if you want me to ride it, or I'm just going to keep riding your Sportster."
Do I sound like Russell Crowe?
And so that's yeah. I mean, I know you didn't. I know you didn't want to ride the 750. I know you wanted to ride the Sportster. However, maybe next one we'll swap because there's a little bit of a story going around that you might not have been the fastest one on a gasoline alley.
No, I wasn't.
Dirt track bike at the event, even though you have ridden there before, even though it was a long time ago and you did put the bike through the wall. But,
I definitely wasn't.
I mean, I think, to be honest, neither of us can claim to be fast. I think we're both fighting out for tail end Charlie, aren't we?
Yeah, and that's, you know, leading into it, I thought that, you know, if you want someone quick on it, we put Jarred there. You know, I think both of us we just talked a fair bit of crap about it, and it was cool. And the actual bike, like that's for riding the 750. That's the most I've ridden it too.
Yes,
it was great just to be able to get on it and just circulate and actually have some feel of it, you know. So
and once again, you know, thanks for not putting it into the wall.
Yeah,
we should actually get a trophy or a T-shirt made up for you.
Yeah, well, remember the T-shirt you're going to make, the factory one.
Factory.
If I got that made, remember?
Factory.
If you run factory, I'm like, I'm not running factory shirt.
Factory. I'm loving the fact that name has
sort of stuck a bit.
It's stuck. Yeah. I mean, we rocked up on Friday to set up.
Yep.
And Hewin's India. What are you doing here? You don't set up, don't you? Just chop her in on the Saturday for the race day, and
then Joey on Saturday, the same deal.
Same talking deal. About people that can pedal.
Yeah.
How good was his retro gear and his porn star pool cleaner mustache?
Yeah, his family didn't even see that. Did you hear that?
No.
So he shaved that in late Friday night.
Oh, really?
Got up Saturday, loaded the car, got out, and it was off by got home, kids are in bed or whatever after dust hustle. They never even seen him.
How about
apart from
that?
the photos.
Yeah.
He looked good though.
And
suited him.
And I also need to thank him because at one stage you mentioned about going out just after the water truck. I was lining up to go out in the water truck. Had just been there, and he just grabbed my handlebars and shook his head. He goes, "No, not this one. Go out the next one." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Water truck's just been, let these guys go out." And you go out in the next one. And, "Oh, thanks very much." He went out. He wasn't worried about it, but he saved the little old man from Melbourne from going out and making a complete goose out of himself on the ice rink.
It's funny how it works, eh? And for them, like you watch him. I was out doing some photos, some of it, and because the wet, your front wheel, obviously tyres pulling into that wet.
Yep.
He's got the throttle so pinned, the thing's just skimming up on the top. Hey, the photos of Joe are. It's sensational.
Yeah.
So.
And it was, and that's good to see another mad tragic, isn't it?
For sure, 100%.
Yeah. And there's lots of them out there, obviously. Yeah.
Any other highlights from Dust Hustle? We had a new team member to hang a bit of crap on both of us. We had Crystal.
Crystal was out there
Friday, Saturday.
At Dust Hustle, which was good. And talking about motorcycle tragics, there's another motorcycle tragic. I think she's probably, back to the Pan Americas. I think she's probably clocked up about 3,000 or more kilometres on the Pan America. I don't think there's many of those kilometres that haven't been caught on film. Very handy with the camera and the social media side of things. But look. Once again, just the whole event, mate. The highlights. My highlight. 100% to see, and apart from the personal side of things of just being able to ride for the full event, and I rode more at this Dust Hustle than I had at previous ones, and I think that had a lot to do with not trying to wrestle a 145 horsepower dyno around there or a big heavy soft tail street bob, but the amount of riding I got to do was fantastic, and really enjoyed it. But my absolute highlight was both Jarred and Emma on the Pan Americas.
Yep.
Both those guys, just look, really, just they'd achieved for us exactly what we wanted, just to have the bikes circulating, but they were circulating faster and easier and better than what I thought they would have been, and both of them handled them really well, and they're both not tall, big, strong people or anything like that. And it's just like, no stress. So that was my highlight for Dust Hustle.
Good ability.
And to to add to that, not throwing the bike away myself. And there was times where I did think that fence at the end of that main straight was coming up a little bit faster than it should have been. But
because we're not running the front brake either.
No front brakes. No front brakes. No skill. No ability. Nice paint jobs.
What a combo. Great paint jobs. And the thing, and you probably explained this a little bit to me as well, two different riding styles, Jarred to Emma, traction on, traction off.
Yeah.
Basically. That's what it would have been. In the photos and that you can see it.
So we didn't talk to Jarred about turning the traction off. We did at the start. We said, if you need to turn the traction off, we'll show you to do that, but just run it in the dirt mode to start off with, which allows the wheels to spin up and allows it to go sideways. And then if it kicked out too quickly, it would sort of bring you back in,
Yep.
Whereas Emma, had the traction control off.
Being
and
Emma.
You could see that. It's just, who needs these rider aid things?
Yeah.
And you could see that in the photos as well. Two different styles there. You can see the bike stepped out a little bit further with her on it and so on. So, but that just shows you, again, both setting a good pace, a cracking pace, and different rider aids on and off,
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty cool to see.
Yep, very much.
I reckon that covers us for our Dust Hustle part of Speedweek.
Yes. Yep.
So we get home, all bikes are in one piece.
Yes.
The steel boots been sitting everywhere. Everything looks fine.
Yep.
We've had a good time. Awesome day. It was basically come home, quick turnaround, really.
Yep.
Change the tyres over to the Bridgestones.
Yes.
Get rid of the factory tyre on the others, and your bike change over from Anarchy into that.
Yep.
Which is about the fifth set of tyres Anarchies you've done because you are throttle happy.
Look, I guess
which isn't normal.
I put it all. I put it down to product testing.
Yeah.
You know, I also put it down to lack of skill and ability and being ham-fisted with the throttle. You know, I'll try and sell that story.
Very, very good. And then we got to change the Bridgestones.
Yep.
So we get up to Morgan Park. Well, actually, we get here on Thursday morning to what looks like the biggest rainstorm that we've had in ages.
Was insane. There was the biggest river running through our car park that I have seen. And so I've been in Queensland, and Rob and I have owned Gasoline Alley now for 5.5 years, I guess. That was the most water I have seen. And Robert said the night before, he goes, you blokes are fair dinkum kidding yourself. Have you not had a look at the VOM? You know, have you not had a look at what's coming?
Like thunderstorms predicted.
And mad storms and mad amount of rain and, 100% chance of rain and all this sort of stuff. Mick and Tony actually camped out at Morgan Park, didn't they, on the Wednesday night? We decided it was a much better idea to get up at 4 a.m. and drive out there. So by the time we, got the van and the trailer out of the car park, both absolutely drowned rats.
Yeah.
And
it was just dark, soaking wet.
It was wet. I'm not sure I should say this. Tony had obviously had his first track day nerves. He was out there on his Suzuki DR650, I think.
Yeah.
And was apparently very excited about doing the track day with Mick, M63 Mick, and I don't mind dobbing people in. I'm going to mess up in the future. I've messed up a lot in the past, and people have always taken the piss out of me for it. So I don't mind dobbing someone in.
Yeah.
He packed for the track day a week and a half early. Everything was ready. Everything was ready to go. Forgot his motorbike key. So one of his mates had to get up early and drop his bike key into us at 4 a.m. here at the shop to take his bike key out for the track day, which was a bit of the rain, the inches of water everywhere, the getting drowned. We're thinking this could be...
Me not passing the message on that old mate's going to be rocking.
You're not passing the message, and I come out of the shop and go to the car, and there's some old mate standing there, and I'm going, who the hell are you? We're in the middle of Logan at the Harley shop, and some bloke's going, hello? What the hell's going on here? So that was all fun and games,
And it hammered. We left, and it was just hammering.
It was insane. The rain was insane. But as I said to Rob the day before, and he said, you guys are kidding yourself. I said, mate, we have to go. Just because they're saying it's going to rain doesn't mean it is. And if we don't go and it's blue skies, we're going to be kicking ourselves. So I'd rather go out there, drive the 2 hours, and if they call the day, they call the day. I don't know what usually happens up here at Trackdays if it rains. Phillip Island, it's sort of, they hold off the decision until sort of 11 o'clock or something like that, and say, rightio, we're calling it, no bikes on track today, bang, days off, So we kind of figured the same thing might happen. We had one wet session. It wasn't raining. The track was wet. You can see the spray off the tyres and bits and pieces, and you can see the way Mick's sliding around. Although, having said that, he slides around like that on a dry track as well. So, But, no, very lucky. And those tyres, it's not a Bridgestone ad and it's not a Pan America ad, but it's just those tyres were sensational. They were green tyres, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And they were fantastic. Wet track, damp track, and then dry track. Very good.
So the bike's got multiple modes too.
Yep.
So from factory, it's got a wet mode, sport mode, obviously an off-road mode,
a
highway mode.
Yeah.
So when I went out, and I'm the only one that did this, I went out in the pussy mode, I'll call it, which is the wet mode.
Oh look, I'm not sure we should describe it like that.
Is that a bad way to say it? But it was
soft mode.
Soft.
Yeah, somewhat scared mode.
Pussy cat. Mate, there was puddles, right? And here I am riding someone else's brand new bike, green tyre, no ability, and thinking, okay. And I probably wouldn't have went out if you weren't there saying, we're all going to go out here. But anyway, we went out and I see Mick just, straight under the bridge, knees on the ground. I'm like, oh, geez, I'm in real deep today. Yeah. Then I see you go, and you're going a bit further. And Mick was out of sight. Yeah. You're going a bit further. I'm like, oh, wow, where am I going? I got no pace here. Like, this ain't happening. And I just stuck it on that wet mode, and wow, doesn't it change it?
Yeah.
Or have you seen it? Have you used it?
Incredible. No.
No, but it
no,
does.
I haven't. I have.
Yeah.
Just but not in the rain. Strangely enough, just when we first got the bike.
Yep.
On my initial ride, go through the modes and see if you could feel the difference. Like, yeah, sometimes I spoke about this with some guys recently. Some of these bikes have all the adjustments under the sun.
Yep.
And they're difficult to adjust, and they're temperamental. Some of them you need to be stationary to change the modes and all that sort of business. One of the real positive things out of the Pan America that I really do enjoy is that you can feel the difference between the modes, and there's 4 factory modes, and then there's 2 modes that you can adapt to yourself. You can customize.
Yep.
So in my bike, I have a custom road map, which I don't use, and I didn't use at the racetrack either. Actually, we just kept it in the factory sport mode, and I have a mode that I also made for the dirt, which I don't use either. I just use the factory modes. But the good thing about the modes in the Pan America is when you're mobile, you can change modes. So you're riding along on a tarmac and it turns to dirt. You just flick the button, select one of your 2 dirt modes that you want to do. The only thing you can't do on the fly is literally turn the traction control off. That's a good thing. It makes sense not to be able to do that, because if you inadvertently did that and were relying on it, well then, that wouldn't end well, would it? So, but the actual modes, is a noticeable difference, as you just said.
For sure.
A very noticeable difference, and also ease of use.
Yep.
Yeah,
Just trigger.
We just press the button. So, no, I didn't have it in rain mode. I didn't have it in highway mode. I didn't have it in dirt mode. Did you have it in dirt mode when you ran off at QR? Oh, sorry.
That's the next day.
Oh, okay.
Mate,
just getting
what's
ahead
going
of
on with
myself.
your storytelling? But yeah, no, I didn't. But my boots are pretty dirty still. Good bike to run off the track on, though.
If you're going to run off the track at a racetrack, do it on an adventure touring bike.
Could have done one of the spoked ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was cool, because I did that. I just went out. I just wanted to, same deal. Like, I'm learning this bike. I want to just see what it does. And then the next one I went out on highway, because the track was a bit drier, and just progress into it and sort of see. So we got through the session. Mick got back. He's laughing and just all class. Yeah. The guy is a classy rider. Yeah. So
and
we all
how
had a
good
laugh.
To ride with someone as well, that we're standing there going, okay, this guy's, seconds a lap faster than us.
Yep.
Can pedal, loves a laugh, loves the banter, this, that, and the other. But then there's a serious side to it as well. When you go, mate, that line you're taking through turn, the one before we go onto the bridge, turn 3.
Yep.
What is that all about? He goes, oh, you hug the wall a bit. Yeah, no, don't hug the wall, because it's going to shoot you out into the ripple strip in there.
Yep.
And explains it to you. Goes, no, we're not just talking about this. Grabs the circuit map and then explains it to you as well, why he's there. And that's one of the things I've been riding motorbikes a long time.
Easier.
Not quite 40 years, but we're getting, would be. Yeah, anyway, so, and still getting to learn more about it. Done quite a few track days over the journey, not up here at different tracks, but, and still, because riding the Dyna, so I've ridden the Dyna around there, which is pretty much not purpose-built, but it's a Harley that I built to do quarter-mile circuits.
17-inch wheels.
Yeah, and that sort of stuff, So it's a bike that's a bit of fun. It goes pretty fast for an older, heavier Harley. It's a lot of fun, a lot of hard work. I don't think I'm going to ride it at a track again. If I'm ever taking a Harley to a racetrack again, it's going to be the Pan America, to be honest.
Yep.
But it's, so it's different riding a fast dirt, and it's still not a super bike or anything like that. I mean, if you're on a super bike, we know the Pan America is not going to be the fastest bike on the circuit at any point in time. Yeah, we're at these track days. We're in the medium group there. So we're not in the fast group. We're not pretending to be fast. We're not saying that it's a purpose-built track bike or anything like that. But it was out there to have fun and see what it's capable of, and it certainly is. A very capable all-round motorcycle, and you're riding it with like-minded people, and people that can help you and educate you a little bit as well. It's a good laugh. You know, we had a lot of laughs with the event organisers as well, with the staff out there. They're just coming up going, "What are you boys doing?
Yeah.
Oh, well, what does it look like we're doing? Well, it looks like you've been idiots."
Because our heads are nearly on the quick shade. You go through scrutineering like everyone's on like a compact superbike. Here we are rocking up on a Pan Am.
They're just, when we first went through scrutineering, how was it? We first go through scrutineering, and I've forgotten the gentleman's name. I do apologise, but he just looks and shakes his head and he goes, "What are you riding today, Ferg?" You know.
Yep.
I go, "Well, it's a quiet Harley this time, mate. We don't have to worry about exhaust noise or anything on these ones." And he's going, "Oh, that's your reason, is it?" You know, and he's just looking at it going, "What actually is it?" And so we're talking through the bikes, and then, take the next bike through scrutineering, and it was another one of the staff members, and he's going, "I don't know where to start with scrutineering this motorbike," and so the staff were having a laugh with us. We're all just, it's just a great fun day, And it tends to be the other participants during the day. They're a bit wary because they're sort of going, "Hang on, we're here with our sports bikes and our tyre warmers, and we're adjusting our suspension, and we're doing this and we're doing that. And who are these guys? Why are they here on these bikes?" But at the end of the day, they all sort of realise that we're just there having a laugh. We're not there to try and round people up. We're not there to try and be the world's fastest or to do anything. We're just there to have fun on motorbikes. And they're coming up asking us about the bikes and sitting on the bikes and, questioning us, questioning themselves, some of them, as to, how come an adventure touring bike went round the outside of me at, turn 3 and under me at turn 4 or whatever might be the case, But,
And that was the takeaway from it. I had a good battle with the guy in an S1000RR, and we just looking at each other, both two sort of total different motorcycles and where they benefit. You're riding along, I'm in awe of what they can do, on that bike and how it is, and it's the same. And it's pretty cool to be able to do something like that. It's just so different, Yeah,
and that was the thing. I think that the common sort of look, when we had the other Harleys out at the racetracks, people started to warm to the fact that we were there and we're coming up and going, "Oh, my brother rides a Harley," or this or that and the other. And, we started to get people coming into the shop going, "I'm here to have a look at the Harley. It was just down at Phillip Island. My brother was at a track day at Phillip Island."
Yep.
And said there was one of the guys from here. So you get people coming in and asking about them and whatnot. But to be out there on these bikes as well, the Pan Americas, is like, a lot of people have not heard of them. What is that? Do Harley make an adventure touring bike now?
Yeah.
Is that a Harley Davidson? Is it really? Because I haven't heard of them. They've only been in the country for 4 months or thereabouts. So it was good to get them out there for that reason. Good to have some laughs with everybody involved, and that's what it's all about, as you say. We're bike tragics, right? All of us that were there. Yourself, M63 Mick, Tony, myself. We're just bike tragics, right? So we're wandering around looking at all the other bikes, and and when it's our session, just go out, have some laughs, get our asses handed to us by M63.
It was insane, even as a track drive,
and just absolutely handed to us. But on the same motorbike that you can jump on around a flat track, as Emma and Jarred proved, or ride the farm roads, as the three of us have been doing. Crystal hadn't ridden on dirt before. She's riding this Pan America. As you said, she's done thousands of kilometres on this Pan America now, and getting more and more confident every time. That last video that you put together, there's some good drone footage of her, riding, on the pegs on this monstrosity of a bike, and just nailing it, and every time, she's riding, getting more and more confident with it, to, riding it, we have plans for a decent ride, adventure touring ride, because we're copping, there's a little bit of sort of talk about, why would these guys have adventure touring motorcycles on a road racetrack? We're just having a laugh, right?
Yep.
But, we got plans to do a good ride once the borders all open up. And no, I'm not going to go on about the borders, Mick. Make Australia again. Dictator Dan, get the hell out of here. All that sort of stuff. I'm not going to do it, right?
That's good. We got that out.
But, you know, really looking forward to that, but making the most of having some laughs on this thing at the same time whilst we can, you know.
Definitely. What would be one of your takeaways from that Thursday track day?
The braking.
That was one of the things?
The braking of that motorcycle.
Stability under the
brake. That braking is insane.
Yep.
Like, I've got to learn the corner numbers now after yourself and Mick too. No, Ferg, you need to know. You can't just say that corner over there near the big tree, right? Turn 4.
Yeah.
A 90-degree right-hander. Probably coming down from close to a couple of hundred, maybe 180 or something.
Fifth gear.
Yeah.
I think fifth to third, maybe.
Yeah. So I go into second.
Second, yep.
And get the thing tailing, and it's all the ABS isn't cutting in. You know, you're not relying on it. You're braking hard. You've got the back wheel sort of skimming in the air. You know, there was one stage there's some good video footage of Mick actually on my left-hand side. He said to me after that, he goes, I'm riding along going, tip in now, Ferg. Tip in now, Ferg. What are you doing? You're gonna run us both off if you don't tip in now. Yeah. But, you know, the braking, you can see in that video footage, the braking of that motorbike. I mean, the acceleration, so braking first, fantastic. The acceleration down the straight, there's some other video footage there of, I think it might have been a CBR 600 or a CBR 900. I'm not sure. There's a red Honda. Yep. I should know because I do have little Honda wings through the veins still. And old mate can pedal, though. He's got his knee on the deck and this, that, and the other. He's having a go.
Is this what I nearly caused carnage?
This is where you decided to become the slightly mobile chicane down the main straight. I'm
a camera vehicle, mate.
I was thinking about Tour de France moments, you know, the camera bike causing the incidents.
Good footage, though.
A great footage. And nobody panicked. Nobody lost an eye. Life's good. It was a white Ducati, red Honda, 600 or 900?
I think it was a 6.
Yeah, and the Pan America. So, you know, but the induction noise and the acceleration, especially the high speed acceleration, it keeps pulling.
Yeah, it does,
it's you know, you're clicking red line third, red line fourth, red line fifth, and it's my speech impediment, red line fifth, and it keeps pulling.
Yeah.
And the induction noise is, and they're all standard air filters, standard exhaust at this stage. Harley have got a range of different air filters, which we haven't, you know, fitted to the bikes yet. I'm copping lots of questions about what exhaust I'm going to put onto my Pan Am. Ladies and gentlemen, no exhaust.
Yeah. Standard
exhaust is staying. I'm enjoying, one of the other big things I'm enjoying about riding the Pan America, Mick, is that to ride a Harley Davidson on the road and not have to worry about police,
stealth,
roadworthies and all that sort of business.
Yep.
And so, so braking, my highlights from the track day.
Yep.
Braking. Acceleration, and the number one highlight, and it's going to feed his ego, but you know it doesn't really matter. He's got a monstrous ego to go with the shoulders anyway. M63, it's seriously so impressive, but also a great guy. That's the first track day that we've done with him, I think.
Yeah,
first track day that we've done with him. Great guy to do track day with, and to can pedal. One of the most competitive guys I reckon. I know, genuinely competitive guy, but also genuinely happy to help out.
Yeah,
and give some.
There's a masterclass by him.
Yeah. Well, mate, what about yourself? All bullshit aside, Triumph Tiger owner previously.
Tiger owner previously. I haven't ridden too many bikes with like masterful electrical systems in modern years, anyway.
Yep.
Like the latest things. For me to ride something that's 2021. Latest modern great thing, to see the TCS system, ABS didn't feel it kick in, not once.
Yep.
Not talking myself up, but I'm a real hard braker. Mm-hmm. I'm better at braking than my corner speed.
Yep.
Didn't feel any brake. The brakes are unreal. Like you just can't fault how good the braking system is. But getting on the throttle and having the support of traction control without it intrusive at all.
Yes.
Which is different to, as I say, I haven't ridden any of the latest, greatest bikes in that field at the moment.
Yep.
But that's pretty damn cool to see, especially on, the tyres were on awesome tyre, but they still started with a T32. They're a tourer tyre.
Yes.
The bike just, you get up to that 2/3 tyre, pick it up onto the throttle and just drive, and you don't even feel any of the systems working or nothing.
Yep.
That's a big thing for me. Because, we're both older bike riders.
Very much.
I got an 04 ZX10 for a reason.
I still wander around singing Bring Back Points and Carbies. So, yeah, we're not, I consider myself as a Luddite.
Oh, no. Our next video.
Proudly.
Yeah.
But
that's me. I don't have ABS on my sports bike. I don't have anything. And it's not because I'm a good rider. I just really like the rawness of it. And to be able to have the safety of having the system there and not have it intrude, unreal.
And I think that's the thing too. So we're testing the bikes. We're having some fun. We're having some laughs. We've got it in the factory sports setting.
Yep.
So we've got each of those bikes has been programmed. You can go in there and you can adjust the throttle response, how quick it is, engine braking, ABS, suspension, blah blah blah. And none of us used it, right? We just went. I didn't want to sort of go into it, either. I was just let's just use sport mode or rain mode in some cases. But coming out of the corners, traction control is working.
Yeah.
But you're still accelerating like an absolute beast. And the first session, we said, let's go out first in that rain session, right?
Yep.
Let's go out first because these guys are going to zap us anyway, and we'll get some good video footage of them zapping us, right?
Yep.
We didn't get past.
No.
Right? And that's not because, we're not, none of us are Dick Dillon, but we're having some laughs, right?
Felt comfortable.
And the bikes were good. So we didn't get past them. We thought, that's a bit interesting. We thought we were going to get zapped, right? Because we're on, The second session, we said, all right, let's start at the back.
This is when I led you guys out.
Yeah.
Bad move.
Right. So, but we'll start at the back and then we'll get some video footage of
coming through
of these guys and passing some people and having a bit of a laugh. And the third session, we said, let's start at the back again. And there was, without being silly, there was people there that weren't going out in front of us because they didn't want to be passed by these bikes. And so, understandable, but it wasn't, it wasn't the purpose of us being there. But it's just that thing of this whole time we're running ABS on, traction control on. The bikes are able to spin up still with the traction control on in the sport road bike. But you know that you've got that, as you say, 250 kg worth of bike. Each of us is approximately, 115 kg, plus with the riding gear. And, with your fancy new helmet, your riding gear doesn't weigh as much as what the rest of us.
1,395 grams, actually.
Very nice helmet. Thanks, very factory. I feel that I should paint a Pan America with some green on it for you to match your boots and your new helmet.
Knew it was coming. Where's your green levers? Where's this? Going to get you a green shirt. I've copped it. But it is a nice helmet.
In all seriousness. So, we're all big lumps and we're riding these bikes in a standard mode and they're allowing us to do, the bike is allowing us to, with these safety precautions in there, is allowing us to do it,
Yeah, and well within the riding style.
It was
nothing insane about it.
Yeah.
That was my takeaway from Thursday. I just smooth. Just.
How good, though, highlight for the day?
Yeah.
Because my highlight for the day normally is the beers and the banter at the end of the day.
Yeah.
How good is an ice cold Heineken after a track day, Mick?
Yeah, I'm looking at one right here. They're just there.
I'm happy to get you one if you'd like.
I don't have an opener. But, we use the desk. But it is. That is a good part of it.
And that's the whole day, isn't it? The whole day is that sort of banter, the rubbish, and getting out there. Best thing about all three of the days that we did on Speedweek, and also not all three of the days, but the day before that when we did our short adventure ride and our ride out to GMAX. All three bikes in the trailer, same condition as what they were, somewhat dirtier. Yeah, but somewhat, all three bikes in the same condition as they were beforehand.
It's insane.
Yeah.
After that style of riding.
Yeah.
They.
I mean, some of us tried hard to make it not be.
Oh, geez.
Are we talking about Friday night? Yeah, shall I get a Heineken?
Do you want to?
Yeah.
All
Let's
right.
do a Heineken.
Might as well. Have you got an opener?
Yeah.
All right, intermission. Out of the way. I'll just wave that out there so we know.
Perfect.
All right. Yeah, so we leave the track Thursday. Awesome time. Road trip back home. We get home pretty late on Thursday, Arvo. Full asleep. Absolutely beat. Really a massive day.
Massive day.
Drive to Warwick and back from the storms, ride all day, and then back. Next thing, get up Friday, do some work for the morning, and get in the vehicle and head back out to Willowbank Raceway.
So, yeah, Willowbank and QR.
Yep. That's right, Queensland Raceway.
So first time for me.
So you never ridden it?
Never ridden QR before.
Had, but a long time ago for me.
Mick, and Mick 63 might have a long time ago as well, I think.
He did say that he doesn't know the place that well after he got overtaken.
So,
Sorry, mate.
just to prove that one of my favourite sort of things to say to people when they're banging on about how bloody good they are is, mate, there's always somebody bigger, faster, stronger, tougher. It doesn't matter what it is, right? And so we saw that on Friday night, and Mick's competitive spirit, I don't think he really enjoyed it that much. But, I mean, we've got to be honest. I mean, John
Williams.
So thanks to him to start off with.
For sure.
And Will?
Yeah, Will
Tuddy?
Will Tutt.
I think he's been pushing the Harleys on racetracks quite strong over the last few months. He's discovered it, I would suggest, recently.
Yep.
And taken it to it like a duck to water and really enjoying himself. But obviously he and John Moto Products.
John from Moto Products.
John
yep.
from Moto Products. Really pushed to get, I think, was there 9 or 10 Harleys there?
I think it was in total.
We had our own group anyway on the Friday night at QR. So interesting night. As you say, dust hustle the Saturday before. Now I'm an little old man from Melbourne, so I was feeling it. I got to be honest. Dust hustle on the Saturday, the track day at Warwick on Thursday.
Yeah.
And then 4 o'clock we left the shop here to go out to QR for Friday. So the preventative maintenance on the motorcycles between Thursday and Friday was we left them in the trailer.
Yeah.
And
just to keep the fuel.
Yeah.
Nice. Just keep the trailer smelling.
and didn't touch them, to be honest.
What do you reckon smelt worse, the back of the trailer or where I hung my wet leathers inside the van?
The wet leathers and the boots in the van. I mean, stray dog springs to mind.
Sorry, Ferg.
But so John had been pushing with QR for us to get some Harleys out there.
Yep.
And what a great night.
Yeah.
So interesting though. I mean, learning or attempting to learn a new racetrack at night. Some of us took clear visors. Mick, you had a clear visor?
I did.
Yep. With your new helmet?
1,395 grams.
Stop it.
Brand new
Factory.
visor.
Brand new visor. Brand new helmet.
I was ready to race Friday night.
Race ready. I had my clear visor, which I think I'd perhaps used once before, in my old helmet, my old Bell carbon helmet, not a new fancy helmet. Is your helmet FIM approved? Anyway,
it's actually ECE or whatever they call their new code. I should have known that, but I didn't.
Yeah, you know how much it weighs. You know how much a Pan America weighs.
I don't have to lift it. I probably can though,
You probably could. It's huge. And then, of course, the most experienced racetrack rider out of the three of us didn't have a clear visor. Didn't seem to slow him down any, to be totally honest.
No.
I did offer him the use of my spare helmet that I had there, which had a clear visor, but given that I have an extremely large head and he doesn't, it wasn't going to be any use, let's be honest. It would have spun around on him down the straight and he would have been looking at the back of it. But so we had a Harley-only group.
Yep.
John on his Roaring Sporty, definite home track advantage, definitely knows his way around that track, but definitely knows his way. Mate, we could have put him on he could have been on a Honda CT 110. He would have handed it to us.
Yep.
You know, man can stretch
Good
throttle
rider.
cable.
Yeah.
Can stretch a throttle cable. Good guy to go with it. And, you know, another motorcycle tragic.
For sure.
You don't put the effort into getting a Harley only group going on a Friday night like he did. Like he'd put the effort in.
Did you follow him into turn one at all?
Oh, yeah. So, yes. Yeah. Well, no. Did I follow him? Not for very long. He gapped me through turn one like you wouldn't believe it. It reminded me of, Phillip Island, right?
Yep.
When turn one at Phillip Island, when it clicks, so I'm talking about riding a sports bike, not the Harley around there, but when it clicks and you get the feel for it, you can just nail it, like down a gear and just hold it on, right? And you just go, it just feels, everything feels good. So following him into turn one, it was like someone that had turn one at Phillip Island absolutely dialed versus the other person. And I was the other person that had no idea what was going on. I'm just watching him going, how is this possible? He's riding a Sporty that's probably got 50 horsepower.
Yeah.
And he just, looked sensational, didn't he?
He did. And he overtook me out of the two lefts, in the middle of the track there. So he overtook me out of there. I've got the power of the Pan Am, so I was able to tap back up alongside him. And then by the time he got out of what is called turn 6 traditionally out there, like he made the gap back up because of his corner speed and everything. So once again, I'm on the Pan Am power. I've caught back up to come into turn one. And, a few laps in by that point, I hadn't been so fast into turn one because I followed him in and I'm like, oh, man, he is carrying so much speed.
Yep.
It's insane.
Yeah, very cool.
Ride.
Very cool. Especially of a night time to see that as well, because one of the guys said when we were talking about, God, it's interesting riding out here at night, et cetera, et cetera. There was lots of conversations about it. And one of the guys said, but you can't look through the corner because it's dark, right? So there's lights, and this isn't a criticism at all, right? But there's lights. It'd be nice if there was more.
Yeah.
But still, what a hell of a way to spend a Friday evening. I'll definitely go again.
Yep.
Right. I would never ride a sports bike or a super bike around there of a night time. I wouldn't feel confident. Or maybe after getting to know the track, maybe if you do half a dozen days and you get to know the track, maybe you might. But I don't, how he had the confidence to push that bike through there at that speed was bloody. It was good to watch, to be honest. It was good to watch. And there was another young guy.
Jake? Is it Jake?
Jake on
the XR1200?
XR1200.
Yeah, I think it's Jake, isn't
Can
it?
pedal.
Yeah. Nice guy.
Good guy as well. Yeah. And I mean, everybody out there was having a good time, was having a good laugh. But yeah, and so I sort of similar thing. I sort of hooked on behind him for a couple of laps, and hopefully the video footage will show out of that. Could have zapped him purely through horsepower, not through talent or anything like that. Purely through horsepower. Could have zapped him down the main straight. And he said to me afterwards, he goes, I saw the headlight there and I was waiting for you to zap me. So, mate, all I was going to do was balk you going into turn one if I did it, because he was carrying so much more speed through turn one on the XR. And that was lots of fun to ride behind him around there as well. I said, it was good. I was getting to see your lines. He's going, don't follow my lines. I go, it sounds like something I would say, But, what a great day, a great night. The 3 Pan Americas there. At one stage, I nearly had a little moment.
Yeah, so what happened there?
I thought, I'll go past this person, and of course it's a social track day. I thought I'll just leave plenty of room.
Yeah.
Go past the outside.
So this is the double.
And it's the first time we've ridden with anybody there as well. You know, so you don't know who they are, what their riding skills are. How they're going to react if somebody comes around the outside or something like that. So you sort of. You're taking all this into consideration. So I thought, I'll come around the outside of this bike, leaving plenty of room. forgetting that the corner tightened up on itself,
Yep.
right? And at the same time going, oh, this doesn't seem like such a good idea to be out here quite this wide.
Dark out here.
So, did a little bit of ripple strip action, which is fine. I mean, ripple strips are there, they're part of the track, aren't they? You
That's
know?
right.
As long as you don't go on the green paint, it's fine.
Yeah.
So,
Go
or the green
past
grass.
that. Go past that, right? Go straight to the mud. Don't pass go.
So I was feeling, oh, God, I'm the only guy on the Pan America
Yeah.
that's had any sort of moment through our little speed week that's had any sort of near runoff. You know, I was thinking, oh, I've let the team down. But as the night went on,
Yeah.
I remember coming round, and there's this. It's a bizarre track. I think do they call it the Clubman Circuit? I think
Sprint. Yeah, clubbing. Clubbing's what we did. That's right.
And so that right-hander, and anybody from Queensland will understand what I'm about to say. There's when you go for a ride in rural areas up here, they have these flood zones or floodways. So the road has a big sign that says floodway, and you go, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And then the road just drops 2 metres and then comes up again. So this right-hander at turn 3 literally is going through what I would say is a flood zone. Like it drops down.
And it's got mud across it.
It's got dirt and mud. And John had said at the start of the day, he goes, oh, you know you're not in the racing line if you're in the dirt. I go, that makes sense, no dramas. Mate, I could study that all night and not know what the racing line was, you know, or if there is a racing line even. And, of course, it's dark and
You can't see the braking.
you've got no idea, you know. So I come through there and I'm concentrating on self-preservation, let's be honest, right? It's you're trying to ride motorbikes as fast as you can around a track that you don't know when it's night time.
Yeah.
Sounds like I've got pretty much all of the excuses. and then out of the corner of my eye, I see this bright headlight off in the distance.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, it's Friday night. It's only fair and reasonable that there's somebody from home and garden here.
Yeah.
And I looked over. And it's an angry ranger on an orange Pan America doing some gardening. Tell us a little bit about your excursion to the mud, Mick.
Well, like basically 2 track days in by that point. Like we're a fair way into the night too. On Friday, I was feeling pretty good. I was reasonable pace, you know. I'm gradually, and such a disparity of paces between bikes. Yep. So you'll overtake one bike, Jen on the 500, and you're like, oh, that's right. Then you miss your break or you whatever. So you're just doing all this, and I was feeling pretty damn good, to be honest. So I overtook someone around the outside of two, which was a good move too. I'm like, this is unreal. I really love this bike.
Allow me to talk me up.
Yeah, I'm like, mate, you know, I've got like, you know, the best 80s tune in my head. Just, I'm having a ball, right? Can't see nothing. And then I overtook another guy out, like outside of one guy, inside of another guy. Like the world is like, I'm thinking, okay, I'm back racing. This is good, you know. Yeah. But I'm on like a 250 kilo adventure bike and I'm not that good, you know. So I come to go get on the brakes because I'd just gone up the inside of a guy into this fake turn 3 that goes into flood and mud. And I just a bit further in than I would have normally braked on that night. And I grabbed on the brakes and I was on lean still because you're leaning into that turn 3. And like you'll see it on the video when I bring the video out, you can just see the front, like not lock up or anything, but you can just hear the adhesion, like the front tire is like on its thing. And I'm like, what's the point of, like, I can get in here, I think, but I'm not. What's the point? I'll just get off the brakes, run it forward, and then turn around and come back. Just a safer option, but human error. I just missed my braking marker, basically. If I was a bit further out and come back across, it would have been sweet. But gave the guy a little bit more space, made a mistake, and just ran it off. And I was probably only a metre into the mud, but that's a metre past the bitumen. Yeah. And then like I was
one of the
okay.
benefits of being on an adventure touring.
Absolutely. Yeah. But the worst thing was, right, like I'm sitting there, then the people, actually only one of the guys, because the other guy pulled off after I overtook him, but he had a bike issue. Then you came past. And I'm like, oh, that's Ferg. He's just seen this. It was like, he's not going to be angry because I didn't do anything wrong, but he's just going to give me so much shit for this. And now we're 6 days on. And yeah, you know, Better Homes and Gardens, Mudman. You know. But yeah, no, it was just a human error.
You had your number one supporter there on the night, and she was very supportive when you came in.
Oh. Man, but how's my boot, eh? Seriously, like it's
mud everywhere.
I had mud everywhere for like a metre. It looked like I'd honestly been on my enduro bike. But yeah,
I just love the fact that
came in hot.
You've banned her from coming to any other track days because.
Well, what did you say to her? What did you say to her? We won't get into names, but you know, yeah, she. But she just gave me crap, mate. Like that's the thing. She just. In a good way, though.
I'm not sure. I think I might be on Team Henny there. I think it was deserved, to be honest. But
but I was on fire for her. I was flying, mate.
You were flying. You were a factory. You know what I mean?
No, I wasn't.
No, you were. Like, all bullshit aside, you were motivating. You were really. It was good. It was.
Felt quick.
It was for. You know, I think all three of us kind of just clicked into where we were the day before. We'd just done the track day.
Yep.
And so you sort of, I don't know the track, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm comfortable with the bike and you're just having a go, you know. And then, as I say, I ran wide and all the excuses under the sun, but mate, what did Casey say, you know?
Yeah, ambition outweighed the talent.
Ambition outweighed the talent, and I try and keep my ambitions low, along with my skill set. But it certainly outweighed my talent around that corner. Managed to keep it in, you know. I was just happy that, you know, you went that one step further, to be honest, because all the pressure was off me.
Yeah, that's it. And it was an honest, just a balls up, just enough, just to, you know, we've just done between the three bikes, we've probably done nearly 1,000 k's of track time.
Yep.
Not one bit of even running off.
No
wide,
issues at all.
You know?
Yeah,
and,
no issues, yeah.
But it's just human error, mate. But the bike, like, same deal. We're talking about ABS systems and stuff like that. Nothing intervened.
No.
It's just come on to a point. Okay. Now the rider knows where they're at.
Yep.
Get off the brake, move it, pick it back up, get to neutral, and turn.
That's the thing with the modern ABS, right?
Yep.
And the modern traction control.
Yep.
The speed it's operating, so the hertz it's operating at is insane compared to, you know, when I don't mind saying, you know, sort of 15 years ago, I flat out said I'll never own a motorcycle with ABS or traction control. You know.
Me too.
Never. Now, and that was because of what it did at the time. I mean, the ABS used to cut in, and especially on a bike that had combined braking or something, you know, the ABS, ABS would cut in, and you'd just run straight on.
Yeah.
Right, and you didn't have the brakes locked up. Now we're saying that it's not intervening. It's not, but it's there, it's working, and you don't even know it.
No,
you know, like its speed of operation is insane, and this on a bike that it's not designed to be ridden around a racetrack, like especially not like Mick was doing, you know, M63. I mean, that's next level stuff, you know. I mean, we're having a go, you know.
Yeah.
I describe myself as a, you know, half-handy street rider, you know. We're having a go. We're having some fun. And the bike's just going, oh, is that all you got?
Yeah.
You know, let alone what it's designed for, which is, you know, adventure touring, the dirt, the miles on the highway and all that sort of stuff. Oh, mate, I cannot wait, seriously. Yeah, we've got a couple of different rides planned.
Yep.
One in particular, which I'm, you know, desperately looking forward to. Come
on, Dan.
Yeah. But I can't wait. There's a road just out of Jindabyne.
Yep.
Barry Way. I mean, this thing, I know one person in particular describes that road as the Barry Raceway, you know.
Oh.
An old mate can pedal, right? And I was talking to him about it. You know, we're going to ride down. He goes, I'm coming.
He's in.
Yeah, I'm coming. Barry Raceway, I'm there. And this bike is made for that. I mean, it's, looking forward to doing more and more of it, Mick. And to doing it with you guys, because at the end of the day, it's fun. It's the bike this, the bike that, but at the end of the day, we sit down and we have our beer and we speak absolute rubbish, and that's, to me, that's the whole deal, isn't it?
100%. And to sit back like, man, we've done some really cool stuff, but to do 4 awesome things in a week, man, that's one of the best weeks you can have.
Yeah,
like, really,
and lots of fun, and just the bike that makes it easy to do, and the Pan America, we're banging on about it as we should, but it is everything that everything that we're talking about is tonight. It is everything. I mean, we had crazy amount of fun riding the XG750 and the Sportster 1200 at the Dust Hustle, right?
Yep.
Crazy amount of fun. So no dramas, but the absolute highlight is this motorbike that let's just swap these tyres. And, mate, all seriousness, we wheeled the bikes out of the track at QR. I kicked the chains with my toe, right, and going, it's adjusted right. It looks like it's got plenty of lube on it still. That's fine. You don't need to check the tyre pressures because they're fine. You can check them on a dash, right? So life's good. And we're just running street tyre pressures. Right? We didn't adjust tyre pressures down. No. I checked the engine oil. The only thing I did between.
How was it?
Warwick hadn't moved.
Yeah, good.
Between Warwick and QR was check the engine oil purely, for obvious reasons, as you should do that. I think we've spent more time adjusting GoPro cameras on the bike.
Yeah, I think so.
Than we did anything else. So that's what the first. I think each of our demo bikes has got about 4,000 Ks or something on it now.
Yep.
Just run in by a little old man.
I tell you, it's as a we'll probably wrap this up in a sec, but it for me, and I don't work for you.
No,
I don't work for Harley Davidson.
I wouldn't have you.
No, that's right.
You give me too much attitude.
Oh, jeez. Is it
and
that
you're
way?
too fast. I can't keep up.
Come on. But I don't work for Harley Davidson or anything, but exceeded expectations generally. And we've both ridden a lot of different bikes, and it's a good one.
Yeah. Look, people ask me about it too, right? And I say at the moment, 100% it is the best Harley Davidson that I've ever ridden. Nigel Kerr from Harley says, well, when are you going to say it's the best motorcycle you've ever ridden, Ferg? It's probably coming, to be honest with you, because it is, but it is without doubt the best Harley I've ever ridden. It is, sure, there's bits and pieces. Every motorbike, no matter what motorbike it is, there's bits that you might do different.
Yeah.
But what a fun bike. And that's the thing, Why do we ride motorbikes? Because they're fun. What does this motorbike allow you to do? Anything you bloody well want.
It's Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
Just every day change it over. It does so much stuff. That's what I think of it. Because look at the stuff. You know, that's we've had conversations about what would be the one bike that you'd sort of have.
Yep.
And, a few different people. Diablo, one brand. This bike. That's for me, that's the sort of thing that fits in that. Because if I can go do a track day on some, I can go off road.
Yep.
I can ride Australia's horrendous roads.
Yes. Yep. You can tour up.
Two up. Pretty damn cool. And that's not the same deal. Not an ad for Pan Am.
If you were touring two up, would you take your number one supporter? I mean,
What? my helmet supplier. 1,395 grams. But no, I don't think actually Annie's been on this one yet. But
Has she? Okay.
I don't think so. But she will. But I just got to stop her from falling asleep. It's getting too dangerous.
Well, it just means she's relaxed with you riding. It's quite a compliment.
I'm a pretty
really,
calming guy,
Very, very calming.
So
you're not all about stretching throttle cables at all.
Nah. Any other things, mate?
Mate, no. Other than thank you.
Yep.
Great week. These, we had an absolute blast, and you can't do it without good people and good company, and people that, at the end of the day, also, you know, mate, we're riding around on expensive motorbikes and we're throwing them around like idiots, but we all had, you know, we kept our bit in reserve.
Yeah.
So yourself and Mick, obviously the Dust Hustle guys, great, you know, sensational. One of my favourite days of the year, as I've said a million times before. You know, we jump on bikes. You know, Crystal jumped on the bike with us. You know, she's doing a lot of our marketing work and stuff now, and it's stop now for photos and stop for photos. And I don't think she stops for half the photos she takes, to be honest. I think she just takes them on the fly. But, you know, good people going for rides up to G-Max Cafe and all that sort of stuff. You know, Mick M63. What a great guy to spend time with riding bikes. And that sums it up, doesn't it? You know, why do you ride bikes? I mean, we've just spoken for God knows how long. We'll go. Let's have a 15-minute chat about Speedweek, was what we said.
It was actually, yeah.
15-minute chat about Speedweek.
I'm looking at the recorder. What do you reckon?
And the two of us are absolute tragics and we can't stop talking about it, you know?
Nah.
So, mate, at the end of the day,
Everything.
as I say to my kids, I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up, but in the meantime, I'm just going to keep messing around with motorbikes.
Simple, just ride. Basically fits
Just
it.
ride.
Same deal, mate. Thanks, obviously, to yourself, Rob, the team from here, obviously, to let me ride these bikes. Like, it's pretty huge. And ask what tyres you want on, like I said at the start. Things like that, mate. Like, it's not taken for granted. So thanks heaps for it. Awesome times. And if we, I'm looking forward to seeing what the next event is.
To be continued.
Awesome. Thanks,
Brilliant.
mate. That's all we have time for on today's show. If you get the chance, head over to YouTube and hit subscribe on our channel. The other places you can find us are on Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast. Give us a rating and a review. Tell your friends, and be safe, everyone, and enjoy your week.